This is a Podfire production.
Welcome to the Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs podcast, where every fortnight, your hosts, Adam Sheppard and Natasha Price, take a long, hard look at the world through the eyes of two people who believe in grabbing life by the balls and squeezing tighter than Borat in a Mankini. The good, the bad, the often cringeworthy, but most importantly, the hilarity that can and often does ensue. If you're looking for fluffy sunshine and rainbows, My Little Pony meets Care Bears type of purity, you've probably come to the wrong place. If you're after good conversation, warped humour, quick wit, a touch of sarcasm, two proud people with disabilities with the no holes barred, leave no stump unturned outlook on life, welcome home.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Natasha. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain.
Can't complain because I won't let you.
Well, I know. And you'll kick me under the table.
Oh, well, I try to, but I'd have to, use my arms and I don't have the energy in me today.
You'll have better luck than I do.
This is true. This is true.
Hey, we have a third person with us.
We do. Hey, Annette.
Hello, Tash. Hello, Adam. I looked at the wrong people, but that doesn't
That's
matter.
all right. You looked at me, Tash, and I'm like,
Yeah, we're basically the same person, just, different genders.
Let's not let that get in the way.
No.
No.
How are you?
I'm excellent.
Okay, awesome.
I'm here on the right day. That's a good thing.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Although you weren't here at the right time.
No, it's a little bit early. You can see how eager I am to get out of my pajamas.
You're the second guest that's done that. We had a guest a few weeks ago that did exactly the same thing, didn't we? Was it the wrong week?
Yeah, it was.
Wrong week.
Yeah. That was Mr. Carl Sullivan. If you're watching, I'm sure you are.
But yes, he got it a bit wrong as well.
We're in Japan. And Carl messages me, he's like, hey, bro, I'm at the studio. I'm like, well, I'm in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's like do a long distance.
Yeah, we're not doing it today, mate. We're not coming back just for that.
We don't like it that much.
So we're going to have Annette today as a guest co-host. This is the first time we've done this. We're giving this a go. We're hoping to have many more in future. But Annette's going to join in some of our segments and then we're going to interview you later on.
Oh, awesome. So if this doesn't go well, sorry, everyone.
Nah, you're going to be awesome. You're experienced at this shit.
It's not me that you have to worry about.
It's me. I'm the troublemaker.
Tash asking the hard questions,
Oh, well, I'm powered by V today, so you just don't know what'll come out of my mouth.
Hey, it's all good here. We're pretty cruisy.
I'm powered by the H2O.
I've got that as well to water it down.
Oh, good job.
Good job.
So how was everyone's Christmas and New Year?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet. Well, it's strange for me here because obviously you may not be able to tell from the accent, but I'm originally from the UK.
No.
Really?
I know,
I had no idea. Did you?
I just thought she was some toffee nose from Melbourne.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. We've been doing, our thing for 4 or 5 years or whatever, and
You had no idea.
I had no idea.
Just figuring out now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. It's strange for me because it's so hot here.
You're going to bang on about how it's not really Christmas.
It's not. Like, you need it to be snowing and icy and cold. And Santa Claus in his big red outfit just doesn't go with the Aussie weather, you got to say.
Well, there's a song my son loves called Santa Wear Your Shorts.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good song.
It's a great song. He loves it. And yeah, exactly. That's
I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, sure. Awesome.
You've heard the song.
Have I?
Yeah,
Can you sing it for us?
Yes.
Not a chance.
Come on.
This dude has got one of the best voices you'll ever hear, and he
liar.
will not sing in front of people.
No, Buckley's.
Unless we're in the car. If we're in the car, you don't shut
Well,
up.
maybe we can move this to the car.
Carpool karaoke every day of the week, baby. Don't you worry about it.
Weren't we talking about that with Dinesh last week? Crips in
Oh,
cars.
Crips in cars.
Cars.
Yes.
Yes, I think this should be a thing.
Yeah.
You'd like to join. You can join the Crip Club, can't you, Annette?
I can.
Yeah.
I'm deaf in one ear.
See?
Yeah, well, let's go with that because
Yeah.
I think Annette needs to be in on that one too.
I kicked my toe.
Oh, you kicked your toe?
Yeah.
Well,
that
sore.
automatically qualifies you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay,
I
awesome.
mean, I probably have kicked my toe and just didn't know it when I had feet.
Oh, you did. You remember that one time when you were at IGA and you kicked your toe on something, had no idea, and trailed blood all through the store?
I did. I had blood pissing out my toe and I'm in the line and a guy taps me on the and I had no clue. And I know exactly how I did it. They had like this trolley thing in the middle of the aisle and I was trying to dodge it. And I had no shoes on, which was dumb anyway. And I've clipped it with the corner of my toe. And needless to say, I've been bleeding like up and down aisle, up and down aisle. I'm standing in the line, and old mate taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Mate, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, points to and they're full on. There is this trail of blood.
We're calling the Red Cross.
And I'm like, oh,
division.
shit. So, that was...
Crip problems.
Yeah, crip problems. Funny.
But then you don't have this issue anymore, do you?
No, I don't. No, you know what? I was sick of my feet getting caught up on things and, stuff. So I just decided to get them
chopped off.
Yep.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
Wake up one morning.
I'm really good with an axe now.
The great thing was you didn't feel a thing.
No, not a thing. It's like, can you feel air? Yeah. A bit lower. Can you feel air? Yeah. Can you a bit lower? Oh, no, I can't feel it. Okay, whack. No. Oh, that was a bit morbid.
Yeah, that was dark. We were spiraling. We were talking about Christmas.
I know. How the hell did we get into
Tasha's
this?
fault.
It's always my fault.
Okay.
It's always my fault.
I have to do one thing. So before we kick this off, for those of you who watched our last episode, it was the episode.
It was the last one.
Was it the last one?
Mm-hmm.
It was the last one. This one to my right, immediately to my right, young Natasha here, decided to have diabetes issues and her sugars dropped in the middle of our recording.
And just to let you know, guys, it could happen again today.
It could happen again today. And it was funny because we're like mid-conversation and you're forgetting shit and,
I was on a different planet.
Yeah.
I was.
Anyway, so I brought you a present today. Hang on. Here you go.
Oh,
I didn't get a
look
present.
At that. I got a juice box.
Yay, apple juice too.
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Bet you haven't had one of those since, maybe 38.
No, actually, you're probably right. I drink these all the time. They're great ways to get my sugars up. Oh, I appreciate you.
Oh, look, I look after you.
You're so nice.
Yeah.
And an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Well, that's what they say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we
awesome.
we don't want you dying
just yet.
That'd suck.
Yeah, but a bit too much paperwork for you.
I meant to say, I meant to say while we're on air. I mean, we don't want you to.
After.
No,
after whatever, you know.
We're professional podcasters here.
Exactly right. Hey, I did well to keep going through that episode. I've got to say, because I had absolutely no clue what was going on in my head. I was out of it.
It was funny looking and as somebody who's been hanging around Tash for a lot of for 4 or 5 years and all day every day, I can tell when shit's going down. And I looked over and thought, hello.
Somebody's about
lights
to die.
Lights are on, but no one's getting. Someone's walking out the door.
You need like a light system around you, so it goes.
Yes.
Not feeling too good all the way to.
Yeah. Like holy shit, shit's about to go down.
We need like a
we need a juice box.
A juice box. Need
Stat.
A vending machine attached to my back.
Just attach it to the back of your chair, or just like a battery charging gauge. How like on your phone, how it like drops down as you. Yeah, I reckon they'll work.
We can do
Man with a
that.
plan.
I've watched 19 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I reckon.
Yeah. I reckon.
I could give it a good crack.
Yeah. Okay.
Head surgeon Annette Densham.
Yeah, Dr. Densham.
I love that.
Hey, Dr. D. That sounds a bit different.
Hey, between Dr. Densham and Dr. Palapana, I reckon we've
got a full medical team.
I reckon we'd be all right. And I'd volunteer as the anaesthetist.
Yeah, but you're going to come up with that hammer and just whack me over the head.
We've got our own show. I reckon Shonda Rhimes, look out.
I know, right?
I reckon, absolutely. So should we get into this?
Let's actually start doing something, shall we?
We should probably do something.
Do something.
Yeah, right. All right.
I mean, I'm enjoying the banter too much. This is good fun.
All right, we'll kick this off, eh?
All right.
Social media
So was that the button you actually meant to press this time? Because, quite often we get the wrong buttons.
Once again, our amazing producer lady, Ruby, has labelled the buttons, so
thanks,
I can't
Ruby.
cock it up.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, Ruby.
It's kind of pointless for me because I can't see shit, but, yeah.
I like the colours.
I'd like to think one day
They're
that,
pretty.
after, what are we, Ep 4, Ep 5?
X6.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You're way
Whoops.
out.
That, I would know what buttons are what now, but
no, not a chance in hell. It took you about a year to figure out the directions to my house, so
It's true.
Actually, probably 2 years.
I do not have. I do not have good directional ability.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway,
social media takedown. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about the social media fun police.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, exactly. Look, hey, right. So I have a little bit of a story to tell, which has prompted this one. So last week or a week before, my younger sister got restricted on Instagram, but for calling me a twat.
Which I can see why.
Okay.
That's not even...
I understand fully why she would call me that, because I admit it. I'm a bit of a twat. I'm a twat. But, some people are getting restricted for really ridiculous, silly things, getting accused of bullying, this, that, and the other, when it's just banter and a little bit of fun. And then you've got people like us that are calling our shows, talking about being cripples on our social media posts, and there's never any kind of fallback off that. So where's the consistency in it all? That's my thought on it. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, there isn't any consistency because the woke police,
yeah,
the cancel culture are in control.
Exactly.
And
you never know what they're going to be offended by or not offended by. It just it makes no sense. I mean, you got yourself a ban, didn't you, for posting a picture of Fletcher?
And
I mean, I kind of understand it to a certain extent, but also your choice and everything was covered up.
I got myself a 25-day leave of absence, which it wasn't a total leave of absence. I wasn't allowed to go live. I wasn't allowed to advertise and some other thing, none of which I actually do on my Facebook page anyway. So,
luckily it was only your personal account and not the business accounts that were affected.
Yeah, might have got us into a bit of trouble.
That would have been a pain in the
I got
backside.
banned once for posting a photo of my dog because it didn't align with their nudity.
I mean,
because you could see the dog's bits, and
that's
it's like
ridiculous.
He doesn't wear pants.
I know, what the hell?
How would Humphrey have shown up on social media? That dude's wearing no pants.
Humphrey just wouldn't be allowed in this day and age. No. He's not around. He's definitely not around still. Humphrey no.
I don't know. We might need to Google that.
No, I
have no idea.
I think he got arrested for smoking crack or something.
I think the problem is these people who are complaining or the people from whatever platform is, they're probably 12 years old and have no idea.
Yeah, it just it does my head in. It goes too far. I get that there has to be protections for people. There's a lot of bullying online. There's a lot of really inappropriate stuff, and a lot of people that can get hold of that inappropriate stuff. But there needs to be a better way than just banning everybody for doing anything and banning people for having a sense of humor. How often over Christmas, I think I've noticed hundreds of people that I know on Facebook that have just said, just got out of Facebook jail for posting a meme. It's like, am I the only person that's incredibly frustrated by this?
Yeah, you and I talk about this a lot. We talk about, something that is said as a bit of a piss take and a bit of fun, and then something that's said out of malice and something that's being serious. And I think there's a lot of the big issue there is your sister calling you a twat was said.
Which is, I'm pretty sure we call each other a lot worse in real life.
Yeah, it's like I like if I got online and I called you what I call you normally, Spazimoto.
Yes.
I think
Captain Spastic.
And Captain Spastic.
But then what about all the people who would take offence? We're talking before on your
our
behalf.
And that happens constantly, and it's something that really pisses me and Adam off. People get angry at us for calling ourselves something and be like, oh, you can't say that. Why the hell not? That it's us. It's our choice. If we want to call ourselves cripples, if we want to call ourselves, any derivative of that word, that is entirely our choice. And we're allowed to do it because we are people with disabilities, and we're allowed to call ourselves whatever the fuck we want to call ourselves. But just constantly
comes back
people
to that woke culture, doesn't it?
It's
like there's these people out there who think that they're the moral policemen.
Yeah, 100%.
Tony Abbott. of our culture, and they're constricting us from expressing ourselves. And like, even though you are from the UK, you are an honorary Australian.
Don't tell her that shit, Jesus.
Oh, well, I was going to say, look, it's all camaraderie, Adam. Come on, be nice.
Hey, look, I am a citizen of this beautiful country, and I appreciate being here.
I am a citizen of this beautiful country.
We'll have to give us some Aussie lessons.
I'm not going to go too Aussie because the only word I can think of right now probably isn't all that appropriate. It's the only word I wouldn't say live on air.
We do have an explicit rating, but
this is true. No,
yeah, maybe don't.
Yes.
Is it the C word?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cockatoo.
Yeah, that's
cockatoo.
it. Cockatoo. My brain just went somewhere else altogether.
But part of the Aussie culture is hanging
shit on each other. It's what we do.
Yeah, it's kind of like, we're probably the only country in the world where you can use the C word as a term of affection.
Yes, 100%.
Or the F word as a greading, as an expression of joy.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Yeah.
I before moving to Australia, I never used to swear much really, and now it just flows.
Now I'm just going to go get the soap from my bag.
I know, right? I should do myself a swear jar because I'd be pretty rich if I have to keep paying myself $1 every time.
I reckon if the powers that be in the social media world actually listen to this podcast, we'd probably cop ourselves a 52-year ban, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
I'll be dead by then.
Yes.
52 years, I'll be pushing up daisies.
Probably us too.
Probably us too.
Maybe we can share sites.
Sounds good. It'd be a good laugh.
Let's get a plot.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get a plot.
Overlooking the ocean would be my preference.
Sounds nice to me.
Yeah. And then we can just sit around and drink cocktails.
That's exactly what happens.
Shit on each other.
And then we can have our chairs put in front of, like, concreted down in front of our grave sites, so people can sit down and chill out with us.
Oh, that's nice.
Or we could just have our chairs put in front of our grave site so that when we want to haunt people, we can, go off and
got easy
do that.
access.
Exactly. You've got to think about the accessibility.
I think as a ghost that you leave your earthly body, so you'll be able to float through the air.
True,
you won't
that.
need a chair.
True that.
Yeah.
I quite like my wheelchair though.
Oh,
not this
races
one. This one's
between the gravestones.
100% is dodgems and slalom.
Slalom.
Tash gives me shit all the time because I say slalom and she's like, no, it's slalom. Like,
fuck off. Oh, hang on.
Don't make me pull out a hurdle.
No. Hang on. Fuck off, you Subway sandwich. Thank you.
That with jalapenos?
Yeah, exactly, because he's spicy.
That's because I'm hot.
Yeah. Yeah, called him a Subway sandwich because he's only a foot long now. I told you we're pretty loose. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, what were we actually talking about? Social media takedown. Yes. So
how do we solve this problem?
How do we solve it? We probably
just go hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go hard.
Like political correctness, it serves some purpose.
Absolutely.
There needs to be respect out there, and there's a really, really big difference between being offensive and being humorous. And if you're going out to purposely be damaging and harmful towards people, then it's not okay. But if you're being out just to make a joke, then go for it.
I guess it's hard though, isn't it? Because there's no tone in a written post.
And that's what makes you don't really understand it, and that's what does make it hard. And I guess for the guys that are running the social media platforms, everything's done via an algorithm, and
they're not ringing and going, hey Tash,
yeah, exactly.
Did your sister mean to call you a twat?
Oh yeah, she meant it.
Or was she just having a laugh?
Yeah, exactly.
I do that all the time. I'll start typing something because I think I'm pretty funny. And then I look at it and I think, who's going to take offence to this? I better not. I guess that's what we need, is people to be a little bit more self-aware, but self-aware of, where that line is and what they're going to say.
Yeah. I quite often write things out and then think, that's probably going a little bit too far. But you got to be okay to be yourself, but also be aware that there are people out there that are going to be hurt and offended, and words do have power, and have that
They do have
level
power,
of consciousness.
We live in the age of offended.
Yeah, oh God, we do.
It's so,
100%.
So easy.
Everything offends someone. You actually do something thinking that you're doing something positive to help people, and you get accused of doing something wrong. It doesn't matter what you do, you can't do right for doing wrong, and it's it does get a little bit frustrating.
I think social media platforms too also need to have a better way to reverse a ban. Like if you can go to them and say, look, here's the situation.
The context. Yeah.
Because otherwise, my poor dog and me, like people had to live without me for a month.
And that's no good.
No.
Where's the tissues?
I'd crawl into a corner and rock back and forth in the fetal position, I think. I'd
sob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Relentlessly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't leave me again.
Did we solve that problem?
I reckon we did. Well, kind of. Not that it's going to make any difference, but, we did our part.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's entitled to an opinion and we're all entitled to share it. No, we're not.
No, apparently not. But, we'll do our best. The great thing about a podcast is we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. Do you agree with that everyone's entitled to an opinion? I think there's a proviso there. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but not everyone's entitled to share it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
This is not everyone's
some
entitled
opinions
to my
are just,
opinion.
I don't know what to say about that, because I just think some people's opinions are just that bloody awful that they shouldn't be sharing them, that they're just purposely going out of their way to hurt and offend people and hurt certain groups of people with absolutely no understanding of what those people are going through. And I wish they wouldn't share their opinions, because they just cause more harm and vitriol and just anger, and I hate that.
I remember years ago, Quinn and I were in the Daily Mail because Quinn has autism and his journey through school's been, a little shitty. Not now, he's like a superstar. Yeah, but awesome we were in this article about, I'd written his own report card, because most of his report cards were pretty abysmal. He's failing everything. So I went, I'm going to write him a nice one, and they picked it up and they ran the story. And this one lady private messaged me, and she said, oh no, she didn't. It was public. She had a go at me because of how I spelt his name. And told me what a bad mother I was for giving him a name that was so difficult for people to spell. It's Quwin. Fuck people. That's only 4 letters. It's not hard.
That's not hard.
And I messaged her and I said, well, that's really interesting coming from another mother that you would have a go at me about my child's name. I suggest you pull your fucking head in.
I love that.
And she wrote back and she apologised. But here's this, and she said, I was having a really bad day. So people are responding in the moment, and it may have nothing to do with what was written.
Yeah.
If you're having a shitty day, stay the fuck off social media, or at least
if you're the kind of person to do that and make those kind of comments, then just don't go on socials.
Your phone should have like a sensor that picks up your energy, that if you're in a bad mood, that that's
a good idea.
You cannot comment.
There's a good ban.
Yeah.
Can I just get one of those phones that has electric shocks anyway, just to attach to Adam, because I just think that'd be really good fun.
I think he'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I think he would as well. Actually, that's not such a good idea.
No, I don't want you to try that.
Don't do this at home, people.
No, cattle prod taser. Cool. We should probably move on.
We should.
Probably move on. Oh, rightio. Like 2 cripples using a beach towel to skydive. This could go anywhere. Welcome to the soapbox session. Geronimo.
Exactly.
I don't think I've finally made the decision that I'm going to skydive.
Okay, cool.
This is something I'm absolutely shit scared of.
I'll come with you.
Yes, absolutely. Have you done it?
No, because the last time someone went skydiving, I was 140 kilos and they wanted to charge me a fat tax.
Oh, no, really?
You're joking.
It was called a fat tax, and it was like, oh, okay, rub it in.
Oh, no, that's awful.
But I would. I've bungee jumped.
All right. Cool. It's on.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's happening.
I'm serious.
Me too. I'm shit scared.
Me too.
I've
I just dribbled a bit in my pants.
I've been trying to persuade him to do a skydive for the last few years. So
I just got nervous.
I do the indoor at iFly, and
I don't think that counts.
No, but it's freaking cool. And skydiving is the one thing that I've always been like, that's never happened.
Really not going to use a beach towel, are we?
No. I don't reckon we'd be getting to the ground. We might have another cripple joining us.
I'm lining up professionals.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Professionals.
Well, I'm in.
Yeah, all right.
What scares you about parachuting besides plummeting
I'm shit scared of
15,000
heights.
feet?
Well,
Splat.
yeah. Well, see, now I have no feet. I've not got to worry about breaking a leg because it's going to be somebody else's legs behind me.
No, but you could break a spine or a head or
a tailbone.
Yeah, that's good. It'll just make me a little bit shorter than I already am. So
less of you to hurt.
Yeah, that's it. I'm bouncing my bum. I'll be right.
Where would we do it? Gold Coast?
I'm looking into it. Byron seems to be a good option.
Okay.
I've got people in the know doing some investigation for me. So
Byron's good. Also, Redcliffe Peninsula there is really.
I got that for Earl, who is my husband, in case anyone
Hello,
wants
Earl.
to know. Hello, Earl.
Oh no! So you're telling our listeners and viewers that you're off the market then?
Yeah, sorry. My phone was lighting up with offers, but he did it.
My
off
feed was
Redcliffe.
going crazy too. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, look at her. She wants to.
Can we have her number?
Call me now. Yeah, it scares me too. Like I get a bit wobbly on a ladder.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how I'll be in a plane.
We go on the Sky Voyager at Dreamworld, and I've done that maybe 10 times.
Do you want to explain what Sky Voyager is?
Sky Voyager is basically a simulator. So it's on a seat and the seat moves. It doesn't fucking go anywhere, but it just goes up and down sideways, and there's a big ass screen. So it's just
like a big kind of IMAX style dome shaped screen in front of you.
cool.
It's really cool. It's super cool, but you don't fucking go anywhere.
You don't go anywhere.
Don't move.
And I'm not going to ruin it, but there's a lot of height sort of views and all that sort of stuff.
And one of them is a skydiving thing, isn't
it?
Yeah.
And it's a wingsuit. That'd be
yeah.
freaking cool. Yeah, exactly. You
like that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Got it.
You got it.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was looking at the iFly to do over the holiday.
Oh, you should. It's great fun.
It is
really good fun.
It's so much fun. Anyway,
We've gone off on a tangent again.
We digress.
We do.
Yeah. So disabled toilets.
Okay.
I feel like this is a well-worn conversation,
yeah,
but we're going to
have it
anyway.
Because we're sick to our back teeth of the issues we have, so we're gonna have a little conversation with everyone. Yeah. So, able-bodied people, we're talking to you guys out there.
Me.
Hello.
That's why they brought me in.
Stop using disabled toilets just because you want to dump in private, please. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So there are however many stalls for the able-bodied individuals. You go into a bathroom and it's got 5, 6, 7, 8 stalls per gender, so 16 altogether, and we have one toilet that we can use, one that we can actually get our wheelchairs through the door of. And somebody else is always in there taking a dump, and then we have to go in afterwards with the horrendous smells and everything else. But it's just like, guys, I get that you want to do it in private, but I'm sorry, your need to shit in private does not trump our need to actually go to the toilet. And let me tell you something that most people don't realise in the able-bodied communication.
In the able-bodied
community, there's something called autonomic dysreflexia.
Do you need that apple juice?
I know, I'm thinking I might do.
Pop the juice.
I know, right. So there's something called autonomic dysreflexia, which is a condition which affects people with paraplegia and quadriplegia. That means that if you need to go to the toilet, something that we often don't get any kind of sensation for, we don't know that we need to go, and your body starts to react to it, and your blood pressures drop, and this can happen very, very quickly, and it's a medical emergency, and it can kill people. Now, if we're sat around and we've just realised that this is starting to happen to us, and we're having to wait for 20 minutes whilst you're sat on the shitter doing your thing, just because you didn't want to use the cubicles that were there for you, you're actually putting lives at risk. So
And pissing me off.
And pissing, like the number.
In public.
Yeah, I know. And the number of times we've, groups of people have come piling out of the disabled toilets and just.
Yeah, they're doing cocaine.
Yeah, they're doing all sorts of shit in there. We didn't.
All sorts of shit.
Where were we? All sorts of shit.
Where's the drum?
I know, bumpty bunch.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, like, how many times have we been to a bathroom and there has been somebody that's come out, one of each gender, and it's very, very clear what they've been up to in there, and you're like, guys, yeah, I know. It's like, guys, come on, for fuck's sake. Not only is it a gross toilet, but we actually need to do this right now. And they'll look at you and giggle and just or avert their eyes and be too ashamed to look at you. But there's some arseholes out there that will just get really shitty about it.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, what's your fucking problem? I needed to go to the toilet. But, so what?
Yeah, and we're not discounting the people that actually need to use those toilets. No. Absolutely. There are people with invisible disabilities, which we talk about.
Which we, 100% get that.
That absolutely need to use them as well.
Yeah.
But there's also people who it's very, very clear that don't need to be.
Yeah. And I'm going to say something really controversial now. No, I know, and I'm going to probably get myself all sorts of comments and stuff. But
can I hold under the desk before you do?
Yeah, I'm scared. I know. I'm scared to say this, but because I know I'm going to get shit for it. But and this is I know this is coming from somebody that has a number of invisible disabilities, so I'm part of that group as well. But some invisible disabilities do not mean that you need to use a disabled bathroom.
No,
they don't. You can still use a standard stall without any problems. If you're a mobility device user, there is literally no other option. That is your only option out there. So I get that you're allowed to use it when you have an invisible disability. That's fine, and we'd never say that you shouldn't. But at the same time, if there are other options out there for you, please think about using those first before taking up a disabled bathroom when there's only one available, because quite often we will get to one and we're both waiting around for a very long time before we can actually use
I kind of enjoy the look on people's faces when they come out and they see
both of them
two people sitting there waiting and they're like, oh, fuck.
We didn't think people used this. It's the same with like disability parking.
Yeah,
100%.
Like
people are going, well, no one's ever parking there, and
not
it's
the
like
point.
You try and get your wheelchair out.
Yeah. I know, it's ridiculous. And the thing is, especially with disabled parking, the worst thing about that is we need the extra space for two to get the two chairs out of the car, and even a disabled spot often isn't big enough. But it's that people kind of park in them and don't even think about it. There's 20% of the population identifies as having some kind of disability.
Yep.
So, and not 20% of car parks are disabled. So, we have maybe one or two spots in an entire car park, whereas you have every single spot. Stop being a lazy fucker and just walk. If you can walk to the without any problems, you shouldn't be using those spots.
100%.
Anyway, that's what I was going to say about disabled toilets.
Oh, hello.
I had a story to go with it. Okay. So, and I'm sure you've got some as well. I know most people with disabilities do. I remember going to a nightclub, and the nightclub bathroom was filled with their disabled bathroom was just filled with their stock and shit.
I remember you telling me about this.
Yes. So I had to empty my catheter bag in their cellar with all the beer barrels and the bottles of drink down the drain in the cellar because there was no toilet that I could get into. Like,
that, kids, is why you never drink out of a can or a bottle.
Yeah, because you don't know that wine that tastes like pee might just be
cautionary tale.
But like,
proudly brought to you by Tash.
I know, right? But it's so true. It's so true that we're constantly being forced to do things that are unsanitary or unsafe and unfair because we haven't really been catered to or haven't been considered, and people are like, oh, well, it's not being used anyway. But well, clearly it is, and there's a chance that it could be. So don't go. And I'm sure you've got similar stories of
some. Yeah, yesterday, the day before, we were in Surfers, and I went to use the toilet, and somebody was in there, and waited, and then 4 people came out all at once. I'm like, holy shit, what went on in there?
We're having a gangbang.
You need something on your phone that goes, burp, burp, dickhead coming out of disability toilet.
Dickhead alert. Dickhead alert.
So everybody looks at them and we can go, shame.
Yeah.
It's
a bit like, back in the olden days where they had the scarlet letter on their lapel. Yeah.
Then you should follow them around, going, I hope you had a nice shit.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I'd love to see their faces.
I'm literally from like media away from the door. They came out and a lady runs in front of me and goes, need to go to the toilet. Runs in there. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, could you not see me?
I know. Like, and what did she say when she came out?
She didn't say anything. She head down, walked out. The kids she was with were absolutely pissing themselves laughing. I'm glad because I was almost pissing myself, so I'm glad they thought it was hilarious. But
it's thoughtless.
Oh man, I tell you what, and I don't have the coolness to say much to people because I'm short and people will beat me up.
You need me to come with you.
Yeah,
hey, it's all right. I've got guns. I'll look after you.
Yeah, I know.
And I've got a mouth.
You're gonna mess them up for me. You guys can mess them up for me.
And the language to use it.
Oh dear.
All right, so don't use disability toilets. Yeah. I have to say that I've been one of those people. I'm going to fully own up to it here.
Well, no, but it's okay because the reason we do this podcast and the reason we choose the subjects we choose is because we want people to have an understanding of what it's like for people with disabilities, and the only way you can do that is by talking about it and raising awareness. So that's cool. If you've done that, then I
won't be doing it again.
You understand why?
I guess it was really only the 80s where they deinstitutionalised, the disability sector, and most people are still catching up because before the 80s what did you do with people with disabilities? You shoved them into an institution and went, off you go, you're making us uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, things are changing, things are improving, and awareness is being raised, and we do the things that we do in order to help propel that a little bit further. But unless it's spoken about, nobody's ever going to realise.
And I think the way that you guys do it is really important because I would imagine in most people's minds there's a lot of pity and sympathy and you get bunched into this, you've got a disability, where they sometimes forget that there's a person that comes before that who loves and laughs and gets angry and almost wets their pants because some asshole's in the toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
Likes to have fun. And I do a lot of work with Lisa Cox, and she's
awesome.
Always talking
about, hello, Lisa, if you're watching.
20% of our community has a disability, and those people have money.
Yes, exactly.
And I guess people who think of people with disabilities, it's like everyone's poor on NDIS.
Yeah, exactly. They're thinking that people are on pensions and they're just sitting around at home not living life. But for the majority of cases, that's just not true. We're out living life just like anybody else, and we have money to spend. Make sure you service those markets as much as you do anyone else. And there are plenty of people out there with disability that you're not even aware has one. So,
be like Julia Roberts. Big mistake.
Yes, big. Anyway, where were we? I just completely lost track of thought then.
So I think to end off this part, Adam travels with one pair of pants during the day.
He can't change them.
Yeah.
So
and trust me, sat on a wet wheelchair cushion, or even worse than that.
You had to take it there.
It's not fun, and it's true.
That would not be fun.
No, it's not.
No, I've got a story about weeing in a car, but we can do it another time.
We'll
do it another time.
See, the problem is I'm a bit messed up in the head, and now my brain's ticking. I want to know.
That's why I dropped it.
Go on.
Hit us with it.
So we're in California and we're driving into LA.
So was this the recent trip?
This was the recent trip. And there's this huge police chase that's forced this truck into, because in California there's just oil drills everywhere. Yeah. So it's hit this oil drill and
oh wow.
So the highway's closed for 3 hours. Yeah. So I'm sitting in the car just getting over a bladder infection.
Oh no.
And I've gone to Earl, I've got to go to the toilet. And like the highway, there's just nowhere to go.
Not moving.
So there was there was some creative thinking that happened. So I happened to have a plastic bag in my car.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, and if you can't see it, I had to get down like this, tuck it under my bum. It's really hard to wee when you know that everyone in the truck's looking at you. And it was like, shit, I hope it's a big plastic bag.
Oh,
so I know. And then like it all went up my back and I'm sitting in the car going, oh my God, I smell like wee. So
yeah,
not quite the same.
But you understand.
I just thought I'd share that.
Thanks.
Yeah,
hey, we get people talking about all kinds of stuff on this podcast.
Well, I just wanted to know that I relate to smelling like wee. Odor wee.
Oh, beautiful. New perfume.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yes, there you go, moving along.
All right.
Hey, that's the one thing about having to catheterize. You don't have to worry about that stuff. As you know, it's all aimed in one place. You got a plastic bottle there. As long as you can get the damn thing in, you're all right.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that before.
You don't.
Do you have to like self do that?
Yeah. I used to have something called a suprapubic catheter, which is a permanent tube right into my abdomen, which always sat there, but it made me really unwell. So I'm quite lucky these days. My bladder kind of works, but it kind of doesn't too. So when it's not working, when it doesn't empty fully, then I catheterize. And most people with paraplegia have to catheterize all the time. So you just learn to do it yourself because you know, it's hard work getting somebody else to do it.
Hello.
Who's going to do this for me today?
Yeah, no worries. I'll be there in 45 minutes. I haven't got fucking 45 minutes.
Well, you'll be cleaning up wee.
Yeah, exactly. So, so yes, it's something that many of us have to learn to do ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that answers a question. I've always wanted to ask that.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll talk about anything. I don't give a shit.
There's a lot of people who've injured and whatnot, and they have permanent catheters and stuff that they just, and because it's easier for them, and higher level disabilities and stuff, and it makes it easier for them to have the permanent.
Yeah, so. you can have a permanent catheter, much like the ones you have in a hospital when you have kids and all that kind of stuff, that will just sit there and attach to a leg bag or whatever. Or there's the suprapubic one, which goes through the hole in the abdomen, or you self-catheterize. There's lots of options. But
when we're in Las Vegas, we pass quite a few people who proudly wore their catheters outside their body.
Flaunt that.
Yeah, well, there might have been some drug help there as well.
Yeah. Hey, who wants to actually bother going to the bathroom when you can just pee into a bag? So much easier.
100%. Shall we move on?
Okay, let's. Hey, actually, I should remember that next time I fly. That would probably make life easier than trying to crawl down the aisle.
Crawl your ass down.
I remember watching that video of you, and I'm like, just
airlines need to do better.
The best part about that in a weird way was when we were coming back from Japan a few weeks back. Yep. We were on the final leg of the flight from Singapore back to Brisbane, and we were talking to the cabin manager. Great guy, really well looked after us. We mentioned that, and we were talking about that in the last one. And he's like, oh, yeah, I saw this video on Instagram of this girl. And Dash was like, yeah, that was me. And he's like, no way. And
Yeah, so it was good that it was actually getting through to some people in the airline industry. And I've got to say, he treated us brilliantly right from the moment go. He didn't realise it was me until the end. I got to point that out. But
yeah. It was literally as we were getting off the plane, we were having a discussion.
So he wasn't just treating us well because he'd seen the video.
No brown nosing just because he knew.
Just because he knew we'd talk about them on a podcast.
Yeah, that didn't ever happen.
And because we would. But
yeah, we would.
All right. Moving on. It's the moron of the day. I really love our intros. I know I say this every episode, but
guys, you've got to watch the YouTube version of this if you haven't yet, because when it's up on YouTube, we've got all these cool little intro videos that come with it, and they're brilliant. I've got to say, they are enlightening. That one particularly is videos, little clips of people hurting themselves, which is always fun to watch.
So, moron of the day for this is a particular. Do we name the company?
Fuck yes, we do.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
Airbnb.
Oh, Airbnb.
Fuck you,
We're gonna,
Airbnb.
yeah, fuck you.
very-
Fuck you very much. We're going to talk about.
We're going to get ourselves into trouble for that
I
one.
don't care.
Who gives a shit?
I'm pissed off with this whole situation. So we booked some accommodation. We are off to Canberra for me to compete in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Go off to the AIS to go and do some competition there. Can't wait. Really excited. We booked an Airbnb, which we've done numerous times without any problems. And I sent a message to the owner just to check to make sure that there was nothing too heinous about the place that we wouldn't be able to access it, like an entire flight of stairs or something. He's come back to me and said, oh, there's a single step going into the property. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, no problems. That's not a problem at all. We can cope with the step. I get over a step into my own house. Like Adam gets over steps in and out of his balcony constantly, and that is a big ass step.
It is.
And it's nothing. But the guy's like, oh, I'll send you some photos. I don't think it'll be suitable. And I was like, okay, cool, send photos, sure. And I'll just, confirm that it's fine. And at that point, he sent me a photo. I'm like, oh my God, it's tiny. It's a couple of inches. It's nothing.
If you can drag yourself into the toilet on your bum, you can get up a
exactly,
step.
Exactly right. There's no problem with this. And anyway, he's turned around and said, no, I'm not comfortable with keeping the booking with you. I'm like, okay, dude, why? He's like, I'm just not comfortable with it. I'm like, oh my God, you're an asshole. You're an ableist prick. You think that we can't do this just because we're wheelchair users. And the thing was, the second that I said that we were wheelchair users, his attitude towards us just changed entirely. And he was not interested in keeping that booking under any circumstance. It doesn't matter what I said or how I explain it and said, we're athletes. We do a lot harder access than this. If we didn't think we could do it, we'd say so and cancel the booking because we don't want a difficult stay. One step literally going into the property and then nothing within the property. The property itself was perfect. The access to the whole place was exactly as we needed it and wouldn't have been an issue, but he wasn't willing to accept that. So he contacted me again and said, I spoke to Airbnb and they've said I don't have to keep the booking with you, which at this point I'm not actually entirely sure whether it's true or not, what their policies are on this, because I contacted Airbnb to make a discrimination claim because it was blatant discrimination, and they said that they would deal with it for us and that he would potentially be banned from their service if it was found that he was discriminatory, which I thought was fantastic. But then all of a sudden they've just dropped off the radar, and they've the two complaints threads that I was using to deal with this, they've just cancelled, and it's really interesting because I now can't get hold of them at all to talk about it. So Airbnb, what's going on? We want to talk to you guys about this and sort this, because at the end of the day, yes, you have no control over the owners. The owners of the property, own the property, and it's their choice. But still, if they're displaying that level of discrimination, making assumptions about what we can and can't do, then there's big issues there. And yes, it may be an insurance thing, but that in itself needs to be dealt with, because I've done some independent research on this, and wheelchair users are far less likely to injure themselves tripping over a step than an able-bodied person. So stop making the fucking assumptions that we're going to hurt ourselves just because we're wheelchair users, wrapping us in bullshit cotton wool, because at the end of the day, it is bullshit. The stats back that up.
Fact of the matter is, and it is a proven fact, that people in wheelchairs are actually far more aware of their surroundings, and because we're constantly looking on the ground for things that might
might be
get
hazardous.
in the way.
Yeah.
I remember that question you asked, and I think I responded, I've tripped over my own feet. I don't need a stair to trip over.
Exactly.
And I think you're right. Like when you're just powering along.
Yeah, you're not conscious. You're not thinking. You're just doing. And I think as a wheelchair user, you're very, very, very aware of what your capabilities are. You have to be. That's just society isn't built as something that's accessible, and we are forced into that situation of learning new skills to make sure we can adapt. And if we're not able to, then knowing what our limitations are. So putting limitations and barriers in place to make that harder for people, it's not on, and it's not fair, and it's unjust, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I had people kind of comment on the post that I did, on the survey that I did, and say things like, "Oh, well, maybe you just need to sign a disclaimer." No, fuck off.
Why should you?
Why should you? Well, everybody has to sign a disclaimer if that's the case.
Yeah,
every person,
because anyone could trip
Exactly.
over a step.
Exactly. And
Airbnb, 20% of the economy.
Yeah, exactly right. And like, you don't make a parent sign a disclaimer for their 1-year-old, their 2-year-old that's just learning to walk. So why on earth would you make a person with a disability, regardless of what that disability is, sign a disclaimer?
That's an ignorant statement,
it is.
isn't it?
It is.
Because it's again forcing you into this little pocket of, we don't quite understand, and this is too hard for us. Like, just go over there, person in a wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it shows how far we still have to come with the whole unconscious bias issue, that there's still this assumption that there are things that are more dangerous for us to do that we can't do. You all right there? You dying?
Do you need a juice box?
Good job.
Hang on, 19 years of Grey's Anatomy, I can revive him.
You're sorted. Okay.
Awesome. But yeah, like I think there's still such a long way to go when it comes to perception of disability. Just as with the able-bodied community, we're completely aware of what our capabilities are. Just as somebody who walks, or there's plenty of people out there that walk that probably shouldn't be, because they're tripping over themselves every 3 seconds. So, stop making those assumptions.
The fact of the matter is if I, for whatever reason, fell out of my chair, or you fell out of your chair,
I'd get a photo of you falling out of your chair and then put it on
then we'd
socials.
laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's that. But we also have a far less way to fall. So
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed to 6 foot, whoever
Yes.
person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
We had a very eventful trip to the US and I fainted. Lucky.
I think I heard about this.
I was squatting not to go to the toilet.
I was going to say, was that when you were peeing?
No, I was lightheaded, so I'd squatted against the wall because I went, I don't feel too good. So I said to Earl, again, my husband,
hello, Earl.
I'm so glad that I wasn't standing because I probably would have damaged myself. So you do have less. I'm trying to relate here.
Yes,
the best
you're doing well. That's what we wanted.
I wasn't drunk either.
Oh, boring.
Yeah, I've got a nice scar on my head now.
Oh, no,
Good
really?
Yeah, my sunglasses embedded themselves in my head.
I don't mean to laugh.
And they were new. I was really pissed off because they were brand new sunglasses they just went squish.
Yeah.
I just hurt myself smacking myself in the head. But I will say the paramedic was very cute that I looked up.
Hey, silver linings and all that.
Silver linings.
Yeah.
Is very,
we're all about finding the positives in the negative. You know?
Exactly.
I'm still waiting on the bill though.
Yeah, true.
Because I may have to sell a kidney.
Yeah, in the US. Good luck with that.
You could have had one of my legs, but we're a little bit. That ship's already
Your
sailed.
legs were freaking useless. They'd be worth like minus $10 or something.
I know, but if you sold them to somebody not
to
from
club
around
someone
here,
on
Zombie
Head with.
apocalypse.
They're
We
not
could use
gonna
them
know.
to distract the zombies.
You could have sold them to like a Halloween fancy dress store or something, because
or to football fans. So
they
they can
wave them. Do you remember when we're in Tassie? I think
That's where I'm from.
Tassie.
Beautiful.
Or I think it was. Where was the special effects place that we went to?
That was Auckland.
Oh, it was
the
Auckland.
Weta
My bad.
Workshop.
Yeah.
Weta Workshop.
That's an
for
island.
It's the same
It's
place.
close.
Yeah,
exactly.
They were like 2 weeks apart.
They were
so I
both
was
cold.
I was like, holy shit, where
Give me some
where are we
fish
now?
and chops.
For fish and
Yeah.
chops. And they had this like rubbery kind of fake leg thing. And
It was a fake arm, but we'll go with leg.
Close. It's an
Whatever.
appendage.
It's exactly.
my first instinct was to pick it up, put it in the end of my stump and wave my stump around.
Yeah, it was.
Raise your hands in the air like you just don't care.
Hey, they were so realistic looking because they were the ones that we used for
Lord of the
Rings. Yeah.
Yes.
Just
so-
watch that again.
Oh, such a good movie.
I need to see it. It's been a long time since
It's
I've
on.
seen that.
It's on Prime.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I think. Or Stan. It's a blue-coloured logo.
Oh, okay. Probably Stan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 9.
Yeah, one of those.
No, it's one of the. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's very good.
Anyway, well, yeah. So the moron is the
Moron.
dude that cancelled our accommodation. This is what I think of you.
You, sir, are
Sorry,
a douchebag.
I know. I'm going a bit far with that, but I am really angry
don't
about
blame
it.
you.
I'm so angry. And you know what the worst thing is about it is his accommodation was really, really fairly priced, and I've had to find an extra $400 for this trip now to go to the next price up, and I don't have the money for it. I literally don't. It's going to break me paying for this. So I'm so
asshole.
angry. I know. So his bloody assumptions and conscious bias and friggin' ableist bullshit is costing me money, and that hurts in the hip pocket. Are you all right there?
Yeah, I think I'm finished dying.
I think you
So I'm
finished
okay.
with dying.
Can you
It
do
was
it
you.
quietly?
It was you last time. Now it's me
I
this time.
I'm totally fine over
Okay,
here.
well, that's good.
Good. We like to look after.
I do
our
have a
guests.
runny nose, so I keep trying to move away instead of going.
At least you're not sneezing on us. That's a good thing.
No, that's a good thing.
Oh, mind you, we did that one podcast here, and then found out like a day or two later that we both had COVID, and we're like, oh,
Don't
shit.
tell them that.
Oh, I know, but
I've had it 4 times. Can you keep catching it?
4 times.
yeah,
Mike.
apparently.
Yeah,
so.
I lined up and went. Pff.
Oh, poor bugger. Nah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was a few days ago. I was convinced I had it again. Like I
Yeah, we
tested
both
upon,
were.
and I was like, one of these tests is going to come back positive, and it didn't. And I was 48 hours later, I was okay. But yeah, it was. Anyway,
Anywho.
moving on.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs. As always, we'd like to thank our guest co-hosts for joining us, and of course to the legends at Podfire for making all of this come to life. If you like what you've heard, or even if we've offended the shit out of you, but you still want to hear a bit more, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also check out our Insta page, twocrips.onepairoflegs, and you'll be the first to hear when a new episode drops.